Today's daily recap for BTG Beyond the Gates is for Wednesday, December the 3rd, 2025. That was kind of a slow episode, everybody. I'm going to tell you, Vanessa, you could tell she doesn't understand how Joey's life works, but Joey does. And thank goodness he does. She told him she wanted him on her arm at Winterfest. And oh, she's thinking she's seducing him. And he goes, no, no, I'm not gonna be going there. And so then, oh, so now she tries to seduce him and kiss him, and I want you on my arm. Oh, I need you, and blah blah blah. You said you'd do anything for me. So he took her hand down. He goes, oh, answer still no. Now she's pouting like a child, mad. And he goes, Vanessa, we don't need that kind of attention or scrutiny. She goes, I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, no, we are running an illegal money laundering business. In case you forgot, we need to pretty much fly under scrutiny, gossip talk as much as possible, and prying eyes. See, he says, I do have a reputation in this town. Now, nothing's proven. However, there are places I stay out of. And these are places where people have enough money to look into things. Let him look. Let him. He goes, no, I'm going to save you from yourself. There is no let him look. He says, no, you are a reputable real estate broker. You have a reputable brokerage firm. Now we get Vanessa running around dropping business cards to the escort service. You know, she didn't know Joey owned that escort service. Probably a whole lot of people didn't know Joey owned it. But Vanessa sure letting people know she running it. It's her business. She doesn't know. You operate under a radar. So now when he turned her down, she ended up leaving and he's thinking, oh, Lord have mercy. No. Because she goes, well, you left before the crack of dawn this morning. He goes, I had a lot of work I needed to do here and I needed to start early. She goes, if I didn't know any better. No, he goes, aside from the fact I felt my car needs to be from in front of your driveway by the time the power walkers start walking. And she goes, I don't care what people think. And so Joey said, I care what people think. You're supposed to be a grieving widow. And I am grieving, but I'm still living. I'm still alive. He goes, but other people, not that, they determine your grief, but it hasn't been that long. And now for me to just have my car in your driveway, and everybody, I'm thinking, I've seen the pictures of those homes behind the gates. They've got multiple garages, like 3 and 4 car garages. I'm sorry. Joey should be parking in your garage. Why is he parking in your driveway? Because if you still got Doug's car up in there, sell it. Take it to your son. Tell him here, drive daddy's car. I mean, whatever. But there's no reason Joey needs to park on the street in front in your driveway. I was just thinking that, like, okay, well, he should be in the garage, but okay. So anyway, she goes out to the club. She runs into Diego. And she goes, oh, you know what, Diego? You clean up nicely. Do you want to be my plus one? Oh, she goes, Joey says, he won't go to Winterfest with me, but I want to take you. You want to be my plus one? Diego looked at her and says, oh, no, no, no. I have to pass on that. Because he's thinking, I am not about to have Joey kill me, right? He goes, I'm a pass on that. And he gets up and he walks away. And Vanessa's just sitting there. And then we have Eva. She and Isaiah are sucking face again. They just kiss, kiss, kiss. And he wanted to take it back to his apartment. But Eva said, you know what? I've been burned in my last situation, right? She says, I want to take it slow. She goes, you don't mind, do you? He said, no. She goes, because it's obvious I am very into you. She said, but I really want to just get to know you and take it a little slow. Have some fun along the way. And she goes, you up for that? He goes, oh, I'm definitely up for it. Right? So they kissing again. She thought she was going to have to leave because this cute situation happened. Shanice was coming from the nurse's station, trying to rush to get this paperwork to a doctor. Ted was on his tablet walking by. They bump into each other. Papers fall on the ground. He helps her pick it up, and they get on the elevator. She pushes the button, and the elevator stops. And boom, and they're like, what, what? And so she goes, oh, because Ted says, I hope we're not stuck. She goes, don't say that word. My God, don't say that word. He goes, what word? Don't say it. You're going to jinx everything. This same elevator had Dr. Who knows what stuck for 2 hours last week. This elevator. So Ted says, oh. So so she's calling maintenance. He's calling Eva, who was with Isaiah, saying, I'm stuck in the elevator. I need you to cancel my consultation that I'm supposed to be at in 10 minutes or whatever. Try to reschedule because it's important to reschedule that consultation and blah, blah, blah. So she goes, okay, I'm on it. So initially she told Isaiah, I've got to go do this in person, but she was able to call and get a nurse who said, no, 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 I can go ahead and do whatever she needed to do. So she didn't have to leave. But Shanice and Ted actually were talking like everyday people. He's like, tell me a little bit about yourself. So she's talking about, herself and church going girl every Sunday. And she says, oh, one day she wants to get married. Oh, excuse me. Oh, goodness, tired. One day she wants to get married. And he goes, really? She goes, yeah, I definitely, if the right person comes along, I want to get married. So he goes, okay. She goes, but don't get me wrong. Oh, I could turn it up in the club. Right? He goes, good to know. Turn it up in the club. And then on Saturday, go to church on Sunday. She goes, yeah, amen. Right. So anyway, he told her a little about himself, but he was mainly asking her questions. And then one scene, the way they are there, he leaned against her, and they're comfortable just talking. They're not flirting with each other. They're getting to know each other. And I really liked it. One thing I can say about Ted is he is a personable person. He seemed very genuine with the questions he was asking Shanice. He goes, we've been working together for years, and I never knew anything about you. He said, this conversation you and I are having here today, I want to say is one of the first real conversations that I have had with, a fellow worker. Because, when he was married to Nicole, he wasn't having no personal conversations. But and then without Nicole, he just, trying to deal with balancing whatever. And he goes, I like this. I really do. So the door is starting to open. And he goes, we're gonna have to get to, do it again. And she's like, yeah, yeah. She's trying to get the heck on out of there before it closed again, right? But I like that. That they're getting to know each other. But see, I think here's the problem. He gonna want to get to know June too. Mr. Teddy Bear is a player. The only one he ain't trying to really get to know is Leslie. He entertains her, but there's no real, genuine conversation with Leslie. He had a genuine connection and conversation with Shanice and with June. June's very real about her past, right? So anyway, Martin met with Vernon about his campaign and what he needs to do next year. And then he said he had to meet Smitty and the kids at Orphe Jeans. He was already late. They were already there. Smitty was there. And of course, Tyrell and Samantha are sniping at each other. Tyrell got a bad attitude because, still getting on him that his girl wants to go to LA and whatever. And, he tolerates June, but he hasn't warmed up to June like Samantha has. And Samantha saw June struggling with plates, so she got up to help. Um, and she asked Smitty, can I help June for a while? And he goes, if you want to. So she's helping her, and June's giving her some tips. And they're talking, and she goes, are you okay? She goes, well, I'm feeling just a little bit off today. But she goes, oh, would you go to the doctor? And she was saying, well, no. She was talking about how, you know, living on the street, you don't get to go see doctors like that. She goes, and ever since I had my heart surgery this past summer, some days I do get real fatigued. And so Samantha's like, well, you need to go see a doctor about that. And so she was just talking about healthcare, the real issues about, homeless people don't really have healthcare. So Samantha was just talking. Then she sits back down, Martin gets there, and she says, Dad, you need to work on a free clinic. That's what this area needs, you know, is a free clinic for the unhoused. And he goes, well, that's a nice idea, but that's a lot of red tape and a lot has to be, money has to be raised. It's a whole lot. So she goes, it's still important. It's very important. So he goes, you know what, Samantha, you and Tyrell do some research and find out what needs to be done to get that initiative started. I wouldn't mind taking a look at it and seeing if there's something I could do. And Tyrell said, well, that sounds like homework. And he goes, it is, it's work. It's what I need you guys to understand. It's work to get that accomplished. And so Smitty said, speaking of homework, don't you have a whatever paper due? And he's like, don't remind me about it. So they're going to go home. And Samantha says, can I just stay here for a little while longer and help June? And they're like, okay, sure. Only for a couple hours. I said, don't go anywhere. Remember, you're still on punishment. And call us when you're ready to be picked up. She goes, okay, I will. Soon as they walk out the door, what do you think that girl does? She helps June, balance the three plates she has in her hand, June. And June says, while I deliver this food, can you wash the front? She says, yep, I can. She goes right back to the back and calls Nathan. It's me. I really want to see you. If you get this message, I'm at Orphe Jeans. Can you come? And I thought, yeah, you know what, girl? Your punishment had to almost be up. This would be another couple weeks, period. Couple weeks. Because you led us to believe you really wanted to stay and help June, when really you were just trying to get to a phone so you could hook up with the boy that got you in trouble. Yeah, no, you ain't learned nothing. And your punishment needs to be longer. That's just exactly how I felt about that. I was like shaking my head, like, oh, you got to be kidding me. So then we have Vernon goes to see Joey, telling him, to leave Martin's campaign alone and steer clear. Martin's trying to do good and blah, 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 and, you and I, our paths have crossed, but, our business, something about our businesses or our endeavors are completely not aligned with each other, or opposites. So Joey told him, not necessarily. He said they align pretty well when trouble comes for you and your family, and you need someone like me. He said that's how we got aligned. He said, so no, we're not all that different when the need arrives. But I hear what you're saying about Martin's campaign. And he says, and tell you, like I told him, as long as his business doesn't interfere with mine, we don't have a problem, Senator. So Vernon just looks at him and walks away. Because one thing Vernon told Martin, Martin, I really hate the fact that I'm the one that brought Joey Armstrong into our family's lives, into our orbit with the whole situation 2 years ago, right? And then what happened this year? Yeah, it was you, Vernon. It was you, right? You, Bill. So anyway, everybody, that was it. That was all that happened today. Um, I will be back tomorrow with another daily recap of BTG, Beyond the Gates.